This broadcast is inappropriate for all ages. Yeah. Welcome to hashtag WeAreMovieClub. I don't know why I decided to change it up on this one. We're going to shift that back. What the fuck is happening? Oh, it's turning. That's what's wrong with it. Oh, God. Technical issues. Wish I had some technical tissues. Okay. So, salutations, I am camera, I am conversation ready despite what my camera thinks. Somebody, come on, quit bumping it. Sure, why not? So this is hashtag WeAreMovieClub, where we get together to talk about the movie of the week, and this week's movie is Kick-Ass 2. To be fair, this is not nearly as good as Kick-Ass the original, but I will try to be amazed. It's just really hard with McLovin. God, McLovin. That poor bastard. I don't know what happened to his career. But he never got past McLovin, I'm telling you right now. Okay, so I made some notes here for this opening, but I don't know. So the point is that it's Kick-Ass and Hit Girl in a compromised position, very similar to how we saw in the first movie with her and Big Daddy. He's taking rounds to the chest, a little game we like to call Bang, from the 9mm and the Magnum, which are very different experiences. Out in life, Mindy goes to school, which I don't know if she's done that before because she was homeschooled for quite a while. Kick-Ass wants her to train him because she's a badass, let's be honest. Training, she tells him to hit her. He acts like a little bitch. She forces a sparring session out of him, and this continues for a little bit. Back at the ye old mansion, McLovin, I'm not going to call him Chris, that's his name, we'll say it this once, but McLovin's mother's going crazy, like super cray, like so cray, she cray. But McLovin's just obsessed with Kick-Ass, and he throws a tantrum, and he kills his mom while she's in a tanning bed. For him to have done that is a miraculous feat, because those things do have redundancies, though they are not super safe. Sun tanning kills. So back in training, they reminisce about Big Daddy. McLovin is kind of like handling the house with John Leguizamo as his manservant, his butler, his guardian. I don't know what the fuck you call him, but he's not his friend. Let's just be very clear about that. He cares about the kid, but they're not friends. So they're cleaning up the house, essentially. They're having all the guys pack everything up. They're going to sell some shit off, because what is he going to do with his parents' stuff? But they find like a shitload of guns, and he finds some BDSM wear of his mom's, which he then decides is super badass, which it is good for mommy that she's got a kinky streak, but he then fashions it into a costume, and you can kind of see a little bit of it right there. I mean, honor thy parents, sure, but I just, really, and then the name, motherfucker, as this, McLovin. Okay, so, back to training. That's kind of the whole first act, is just set up. What's different from the first movie? Set up. Oh, look, they're older. Set up. Let's see. Kick-Ass kites some gangbangers into his alley dressed as a pimp, because he's not. He's dressed as a gay escort? I don't know. A fanciful gay escort. Let's say that. But he can't quite beat up all fours, so they end up kicking the shit out of him. But it's just an excuse for Hit Girl to get some action in, to get back to it. And she ends up killing 3 out of the 4 guys, and then she gives the last guy like a chance to like get away, but he goes for the gun and she cuts his hand off. So her foster dad calls her, and she kind of has to pull like a Ferris Bueller to get home in time to trick him into thinking she was homesick for the day. Or that she went homesick, of all things, because she wasn't supposed to answer her phone, which she did to try to convince him that everything was okay. But that's what told him. It's irony, people. Irony. I think irony is when you're made of iron. No. This is irony. And she almost tricks him, but she has some blood on her face that ruins it. So he throws back the covers, and thank God she wasn't naked, because she's all in her hit girl outfit, and he's upset. Hopefully he would have been upset that she was naked, but that's not this movie. Let's see. Back at school. So they do have a long talk about Mindy turning over a new leaf. At school, Dave goes to find Mindy, because Mindy, I think, stood him up for training. And Mindy says she's going to stop crime fighting for real. And then Katie slaps the shit out of him and dumps him on the spot for being under the impression that he's been cheating on her with Mindy, of all people. And I think there's a big comment about it being a freshman. I don't think that was the important point, Katie, but have some evidence, some proof, something. She knows he's kick-ass. You would think he'd be able to be honest with her about a couple other things, but whatever. So out on the street on patrol, Kick-Ass is talking to the black doctor from Scrubs in red tights. Dr. Gravity. He's got like a baseball bat as his special weapon. Some guys show up and use gravity batons. If you know what that means, it's the collapsible asps to attack Kick-Ass for views. Like, their plan was to jump Kick-Ass and record it, because they thought one of them could record it, the other guy would be able to do it with one baton. I don't know. Or one asp, rather. I don't know. I don't get that mentality. But they run away. That's the important part, is they run away like little bitches. But they're not fighting for anything, so why would they fight, you know? At some store, motherfucker shows up at a convenience store. God, McLovin. And he's so dumb. He picks a place that doesn't have security cameras. When his whole plan is to get caught robbing a place to try to put his name out there. And then when he goes to fire his gun at what I can't remember, I think he's just going to shoot up the place. He ends up, because he's got it gangster style, ends up popping himself in the bridge of his nose, just like the old man told him. Ugh. It's sad when old people are right. So it's kind of a stupid moment. It's funny as hell, but it makes him out to be a very weak character, which this is not the first of trends. But back in life, there's a text convo between Mindy and Dave. She's going to a slumber party. This feels like such an unnecessary departure, but it's necessary on its own too, because it's all about character development and figuring out is like what's normal, what should this kid be doing instead of being a superhero? Is that right for her? And you really don't know until you try. Let's be honest. And I don't know how she swings it. But Mindy has a slumber party at a plastics house. And they're talking about boys and everything. And they're talking about kissing and whatever. And it's like, oh, why would you even bother? And they show her a music video of what I thought was K-pop. But in my memory, it's K-pop. But whatever. And it kickstarts her hormones. Because that's what she needs to deal with right now. But good for her. So there's some superhero meeting that they show up, and Dave ends up recognizing his friend as Battle Guy, who uses a plastic shield. So I don't know. It's like the lamest possible version of Captain America. But Jim Carrey ends up showing off the HQ, and he's kind of the colonel, the leader of this ragtag bag of muffins. Do you keep muffins in a bag? I guess when you go to the grocery store, I guess they're a basket of muffins. I'm going to call them the baskets. They're basket cases. Really off the top of my head. Horrible that we caught that live. But Kick-Ass ends up joining because they seem to be about doing real things, even if they're not super badasses like Hit Girl and Big Daddy were. And again, that took training. Lots and lots of training. But back at school, Mindy apparently ditched the plastics, and Kick-Ass and Battle Guy are forcing out their other friend, which is sad. Back in training, Chris is in training just getting his ass beat, McLovin, by the people he's hired. And he figures, like, his superpower is that he can just pay people because he's motherfucking rich. So, of course, he puts all these guys on salary. And he forms his plan is to form a super evil squad. I think the name they go with is Mega Toxic or Super Toxic Mega Cunts or something like that. I love the name, but it's awful. So let's see. Back at school, the plastics are showing Mindy whatever weird dance club thing they have is, and like we had like a flag team or drill team or something like that. That was a dance team. They put on little leotards and put on a show. Maybe it was flag corps, even if they didn't use flags. And so that's the closest thing I could think of to what this might be, though it could just be cheerleaders, and that this is like an extracurricular cheerleading thing. But Mindy ends up empowering her inner hit girl to pretend to have a fight in the middle of the gym, to include breaking arms and necks and everything. And it's kind of like a kata, but not really. Like, we actually did a couple of these for capoeira. I never got to perform, but I was the backup. So, yay! For demonstrations, but, yay. And everybody really loved it, apparently. I'm not sure why, unless it's just we're in that age of female empowerment type thing, which, bully. Back at Heroes HQ, they're bonding and training. Kick-Ass and Midriff Girl get it on, who is Night Bitch. That's her name, Night Bitch. I'm going to say that one more time. Night Bitch. Yeah, I don't know. But to be fair, and granted he's like 18 or something at this point, but she's like college level, if not like, hey, I already have a steady job, mid to late 20s. So, I don't know. No one ever seems to point that aspect out. We just get the people who want to talk about how old is Hit Girl. Take that one as you will. We do. So back at school, Dave is harping Mindy about the group. Mindy's grossed out about Dave and Night Bitch in general, which is funny to me. But she ends up asking a random guy out on a date, who happens to be one of the popular guys the Plastics would have approved of. But she doesn't even know his name, which I think is the funniest bit of that whole shtick. Let's see. Back in some alley, the hero team unloads. They're targeting a gambling casino. They force their way in. The Colonel has a real problem with language. I'm really curious what he would have fucking did if they kept cursing. But they all beat the shit out of the gamblers and the house, or the casino personnel, if you will. Carrie sicks the dog on the boss's nuts. Svets! Carrie pulls a gun and points it at him, and he ends up telling him where the girls are, because, of course, they have sex slaves, as you do. Kick-Ass and Night Bitch go to save the girls. The girls take the 50 grand from the casino and go to a women's shelter. Which, I hate to say this, but that story probably ends with them all being deported after all the atrocities that they've been through, plus the money that they spent, plus the money that the triads or whoever think that they still owe them. And those people know where their fucking family is, so, yeah, it's a pretty dicey situation. I love that we got to a clear resolution and that, like, we saved the girls. It's a really nice thing, but when you know too much, it can ruin things. I'm just telling you, so that you can hate life too. So back in the van, they celebrate. Jim Carrey shows them the gun was empty, which it couldn't be unless you broke the gun, because he would have at least had one in the chamber, because when the gun is empty, it's designed to show that. It puts the chamber in a certain position so that it shows an empty chamber, and then you can actually see that, like, there's no more rounds to feed. It's an important feature. Let's see. Back at the mansion, Chris is hanging out with naked strippers. Leguizamo is helping form the supervillain team that that McLovin wants. The heroes are growing in number. They even involve his third friend, the guy they were kind of pushing out before. And they have this really, quite honestly, stupid argument about him being derivative of Kick-Ass, where he was like the ass kicker or ass kick. And he essentially has a yellow costume with green stripes, where Kick-Ass has a green costume with yellow stripes. So not only is the dickhead in bright yellow, but he looks just like Kick-Ass, but in reverse. So he's reverse Kick-Ass. So back at Mindy's going on her first date. She looks really different, sure, because she's dressing up nice for a date. And I asked somebody else in the chat room, and they agreed, over Rabbit/Camerai, that this is essentially the equivalent of acting straight when you're gay. The whole thing that she's going through, she's fighting her true personality, if you will. It's very unbecoming in several different ways. But whatever. I went to go get pizza. But when I came back, they're at Dave's, and Mindy shows up there. He's giving her a pep talk. I'm so sorry. I did miss the spot. So he drives her out to the woods, because that's what kids do sometimes, I guess. But it turns out it's all a thing to see for the plastics to spy on her, to see if she would give it up to the guy. And the guy's an idiot. He's not good at talking to her, so I kind of gave it away. But back at Dave's, Mindy shows up there crying. He gives her a pep talk, and so he's there for her. Aww. Say aw! Back at school, Mindy dresses up and confronts the plastics. And let's just face it, she looks good. Not because she's sexy, but like she puts on a nice outfit that accentuates just enough to show, to draw attention and show that she has control of the situation. Plus, she has the attitude air on. And Chloe Grace Moretz has just a shitload of personality, which is why she couldn't play Meek Carey when she did the remake. I'm sorry, I love Chloe. Did not do a good job with that role, and I think it's because she's just got too much personality. She hasn't learned to rein it in, because her whole career she's been pushing out as hard as she can, and I'm sure that's how she's gotten where she's gotten. So I think it was just a miscast, but that's fine. So she confronts the plastics, which she needs to bring it. So she did. She brought it. And she uses the 6 stick on them. They puke, and as someone pointed out, it's probably some of the worst CG ever. But the head plastic did shit herself in a super liquidy fashion. So immediately made everything come out both ends. I want that. I want that to be my new toy. Back at Dave's, his dad finds his kick-ass gear. And then back in prison, Uncle Ralph calls in Chris, or McLovin. And then Uncle Ralph has Leguizamo killed from inside the prison as McLovin's watching. So now McLovin has no friends left. Ralph's an idiot. he took away the one thing that could like direct Chris at all, and now he's just a force of nature. So unless Ralph is gonna have the men kill, Chris, there's nothing to do for anything, and I don't think that's gonna happen because the way Chris is going, where he's putting all these fucking crazy people on salary, and he may even be firing fuckers. So why are they gonna do shit if they're not paid, you know? So back at Hero HQ, the dog starts barking for supposedly no reason. So he, because the Colonel doesn't see anything, he cages her, which is dumb. You don't cage a smart animal like that. But of course, Mother Russia shows up, part of the toxic mega cunts, and they kill the Colonel, while the dog watches, which poor dog. And so they're in there, and like I think it's Mother Russia offers to kill the dog, and McLovin's like, the dog, Jesus Christ, I'm not that evil. And then he tells her to cut the old man's head off, which really like puts the balance of morality in perspective there. I thought that was really funny. No idea what happened to the dog, but poor dog, really. So at Mindy's, she's fighting with her foster dad again. At a restaurant, the heroes gather and bicker because some of them didn't sign up to actually fight. Some of them signed up to be a symbol and do movements, and that's fine. Be those people. Just, you split the group at that point. Hey, this is happening here. If you want to be part of it, this is where you go. It's that simple. In like this really suburban neighborhood. It was really nice and clean. It looks like a street I lived on once. The toxic mega cunts hunt Night Bitch because they started figuring shit out when they were at the Colonel's. And they get her. And there's a super horrible dick joke. Because I think it was supposed to be McLovin was going to rape her. But apparently he can't get his tiny dick hard. So he doesn't do it. They just beat the shit out of her, I guess. I don't know. She ends up in the hospital. May or may not have been molested, raped. I don't know. The movie is not foretelling on that. Let's see. Oh yeah. So the bad guys go back outside, and the police start showing up because I guess they fired some guns or something. And Mother Russia is fucking awesome because the other guys are like, fuck it, let her do it on her own. She gets paid $50K more than us, and then she's like, plus expenses, which I thought was such a cool line that she's just like, yeah, I do. But she fights the cops all by herself. Like she takes out 4 squad cars worth in like some amazing shit. Like she even puts a fucking lawnmower on top of the back of one of the police cars, then reverses the car and throws the lawnmower at the other cops through their windshield, and apparently it's turned on the whole time. So not only does she take them out, but she's creative about it. Like she has an art to this violence of hers. I did particularly like the tire throw that ended up nailing one of the cops. That was nice. It did remind me of Hulk, I think. Oh, man. So, back in the public eye, the police are going crazy en masse. They're like, no more of this shit. We're getting rid of all of you, because now there's costume freaks murdering people in the street. Which, if they're going to go crazy en masse, they could have done that on gangsters in the first place. But they know that not all the masks are going to fight back, so why not? Back in the hospital, Night Bitch is all laid up. Dave's dad's arrested for being kick-ass. I don't know how they figured that one out. Back at the villain lair, there's this long dead shark joke. And it really kind of shows how inept McLovin is when it comes down to it. He's just, did they give me a bad shark? Are they supposed to sit at the bottom like that? Who knows? But it turns out like Reverse Kick-Ass is there, Dave's friend. And he's not even supposed to be there because that's the VIB section. And he's like joking around with Motherfucker. And he lets him know that like it's actually that the guy who was arrested for being Kick-Ass, not only is he old enough to be Kick-Ass's dad, he's actually Kick-Ass's dad. And for whatever reason, he's like, "Oh, I thought you knew." So it's just so dumb, so much stupid fueling the last act of this movie. But back at the house, Dave gets a pleasure of his dad being tortured, killed. A picture, sorry, not the pleasure. Because the motherfucker sends guys to the jail to do that. The funeral, there's a funeral for his dad. The cops are there. Kick-Ass is there as Dave. Mindy is there. Dr. Gravity, Battle Guy. There's another guy from the Hero League there. The Toxic Mega Cunts attack, and they take Dave. In the van, they want Dave to put on the Kick-Ass costume. He obviously refuses. Good for him. Mindy ends up pursuing and shoots through the roof. There's a scuffle shooting type thing happening. And it's really an amazing little scene. I really love what they did with it. They have this great fight at the passenger door where she literally goes full circle around the door. She's fighting like inside or outside the door while it's closed. It opens. She fights outside the door while it's open. She fights on top of the door. She fights inside the door. She goes under. I think she literally climbs up again. She ends up dropping a guy to the road, hanging off the door, and climbs up the guy. All the time while the driver's shooting at her. And they finally end up going off-road, and they interrogate the driver. She pushes Kick-Ass to superhero for once. And I say that with all contempt, because it's heroing. Nobody here is super. Sorry, it's just how it is. Kick-Ass is probably the closest, and he's not very good at it. The power to get his ass kicked. I think Big Daddy even makes that joke in the first one, like, Kick-Ass, more like ass kick. So, back at the hero lair, Mindy apologizes to her foster dad. She gives Kick-Ass a reality check. At the villain lair, Ass Kicker starts to realize motherfucker isn't a joke, and he sneaks off because he obviously is responsible for having Dave's dad killed. Then Kick-Ass and Hit Girl show up. All their hero friends show up. And at this point, motherfucker has a evil lunatic army at his disposal too. So it's really a big square off with motherfucker and Kick-Ass at the lead, and then like all the supporting people lined up behind. And Hit Girl immediately goes for Mother Russia. But thank God, because if someone didn't block her, she would have killed everyone on her own. So they face off. The war faces off. Hit Girl goes after Mother Russia. And it's speed versus overwhelming power. Of course, Ass Kicker turns sides, helps Battle Guy. Mother Russia has this cool fight with Hit Girl. Now, Hit Girl's grown up a little bit, but she's still not big. She's a tiny person, and Mother Russia is huge. All fit, all muscle, but she's just a big lady. So she ends up putting her in a headlock. Mindy goes for like a syringe, and we're really close to Mother Russia injecting it just to spite Mindy. You're like, you think little needle will hurt me? I take no effect. But instead, she injects Hit Girl. Turns out to be adrenaline. And I'm going to stop offensive Russian accent now. I know a Russian guy at work. He says it's fine. I know he doesn't speak for all of you, but still. Hit Girl immediately goes punch drunk off adrenaline, like just laughing and running around and kicking the shit out of Mother Russia. And she has this like psychedelic moment where like she does something out of Daredevil where she breaks all the glass and then just starts sticking Mother Russia left and right with it. Oh man, and Kick-Ass and Motherfucker somehow make their way up to the roof. I don't know why that comes up. But Hit Girl ends up killing Mother Russia with the glass. Motherfucker ends up falling through the skylight. Kick-Ass tries to save him, and motherfucker falls on purpose because he'd rather be dead than saved by Kick-Ass, by the person who killed his father when he killed his mom. And so halfway down, he kind of changes his mind, but it's fucking too late because it just shows how what a spoiled shit he is. And he falls into the shark tank. And he has this moment of, I'm alive, and we're all laughing as the shark's dead. And then he gets eaten by the shark because it was just waiting, which is not how sharks work. They're always moving, looking for the next meal. What's up? What's over here? Swim, swim, swim. So the villain army kind of falls with the death of motherfucker, because they know they're not getting paid now. The heroes kind of gather on the roof as the cops arrive, and they say goodbye to heroing. And there's so many parallels in this movie to Watchmen. I didn't point them out as they came in because I actually forgot as I was talking about it. But like Watchmen went through a very similar thing where masks became illegal, but some of them carried on anyways. And so like they kind of take the tiny black and white photo to commemorate the event, the last moment that they all had before masks were illegal, where they gathered. And granted, masks are already illegal, but like the point is they made the pointed reference. They made the attempt to reference Watchmen in some way, shape, or fashion, and it comes up throughout the movie. I wish I had made more notes of it because it's real subtle, and like and it leans on mostly Watchmen. There's some Batman in here, but more of that's in the first movie for Batman. And it was all the way to the end of the movie, like right at this point where I realized Night Bitch was kind of banging a kid, but I think for the purposes of the movie, he's supposed to be a 18-year-old high schooler. But again, she's kind of in the category of dream maker rather than victimizer. But I have not gone through that type of scenario, so I do not feel that I can fully speak for anyone who has gone through such a tragic event, which I don't doubt, in all seriousness, I don't doubt that it might have been tragic for you. But this is not the way I wanted to end this video. So, to be a little bit happier, now we're going the other way. Fucking movie. This is exactly why Kick-Ass 2 is not nearly as good as Kick-Ass. But back at his house, Mindy drops Dave off, and they talk. And it's very clear, like, that they're very close, that they're friends, and like there could potentially be something there if you were shipping it. And she gets her first kiss from Dave, and I think she plants one on him because that's the modus operandi. Even though like he should have been good enough to let her have that moment where she's not, or where she's kind of swept up. But she drives off to do her own thing because she can. Then we switch the other way because it's either that she's like let's just say 22-year-old, and he's an 18-year-old high schooler, and then she's a freshman, so at least 3 years behind, so 15. So that's may or may not be covered by Romeo and Juliet laws, or they are within 2 years, which is typically what those laws are, or 1 year. And then she's I give up. I wish there was a better way to end this. Kick-Ass 2, not as good as Kick-Ass. Enjoy Kick-Ass over and over again. Watch this when you feel like it. Come join us over on Rabbit/Camera, where we will unfortunately continue to talk about stupid shit like that. And oh yeah, well, we have a good time. We have fun. So, till you see us next time, have a nice day. This has been #WeAreMovieClub. You want to see anything else we're up to, go to click the annotations and they'll take you to our other channels. Thanks for watching.